Why did we do that one on Christmas?
Dude. Do what? Dude, that one, Jingle Bells. That was Jingle Bells. Oh, you see, I couldn't tell that was Jingle Bells by what you were doing.
I was singing in my head. You couldn't hear that?
We're getting close to that happening.
Well, Mr. Craig, who do we have today?
I bet you want to know, don't you?
I want to know.
We're going to be seeing through the Colorado haze to reach the top of the Christiana Hill.
Well, grab your rope and ice pick and let's climb up to the top.
Buckle up. It's the Insurance Dudes podcast.
Okay. This is going to be like our 100 and something episode. And Craig there was a little trend to forget to record.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
It's not easy to push this button, especially when you're going back to back to back with a bunch of people. You have to turn it off, turn it on, and there's no checklist. I mean, I guess I could put a piece of paper up here.
Yeah, piece of paper would be good.
I forget to.
Have we pushed record?
Yeah, yes. So this is take 2.
Take 2. So let's say everything we just said again. So what?
All right.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Jason, you remembered to do something last time, but I didn't.
Right.
What was that?
Not the button. The first question that we ask everybody, what was the first concert you've ever been to?
Okay. My first concert I've ever been to, a paid concert, was Dave Matthews. And then we made a tradition. I love Dave. Love. Went to him for 15 years straight with my college girlfriends. We went when we were 18 and then went every single year to like different cities all over after we graduated. So it was a really fun tradition.
Well, you travel a lot too.
I love to travel. That is my life's passion. And literally that's all I do. I did about 12 weeks last year.
Favorite place?
Nice.
Favorite place so far is New Zealand. After I sold my last company, I went there for a month on like an Eat, Pray, Love by myself tour and did like 18 cities in a month. It was awesome.
By yourself?
Yeah.
It's remarkable.
I'm not married. I have no kids.
Yeah, so just Zoom, just go.
Yeah. I mean, well, I sold a company, the last company I owned, and I was like, all right, I have money, could do anything I want, go anywhere. I have nobody to account for. So I just went. I bought a one-way ticket there. The last industry I was in, I owned a children's franchise called Bricks for Kids. Cool. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. I know you guys both have kids. Craig's kids are a little older, but your kids are a little younger, aren't they, Jason?
Yeah.
My kids don't eat bricks.
Well, this is it was a Lego company. And so we did after school classes, summer camps, and birthday parties, all based around STEM education.
Oh, cool.
So I had a facility in Tampa. I lived in Tampa, Florida, and I had like 5 locations. And we got pretty big, yeah. And I sold it off to 3 different people that have 3 different businesses running out of my like location that I had.
Well, going from that to this.
And I was in medical device sales too. I was in medical device sales for most of my career. Yeah, from 22 to now, I've done medical device in between the 2 companies. I've done everything. Go ahead.
Sorry.
I've done like a lot of like ultrasound supplies, OR sales, like open heart surgery, like basically everything in sales, and doing 5 nights a week gone gets wears on you a little bit.
Yeah.
A lot of travel. And
you're like the ultimate sales dudette.
Well, thanks. I love to sell.
Yeah. No, honestly, like think about it. Like you rarely hear someone who goes from industry to industry. Now you're in insurance. It's like, wow, you have quite the sales portfolio.
Well, people are like, what? Why did you do that? Can you explain to me where you got from OR sales to, insurance? And I'm like, well, I want to be home.
Especially the ones in this business.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a different crowd in this business. Different crowd, for sure.
And you moved too, right?
So yeah, I was in Florida for 11 years. At my last, I've moved 6 times for my career since college by myself. And this move was obviously purposeful, and it was a very like planned move. Like for 2 years, I saved for this for my agency. I saved like 70% of my income to have cash to put down on for Allstate, because you have to have the money. And so I just was like, all right, I'm going to be diligent about this. I'm going to save. I'm going to get all my licenses while I'm doing like 12-hour days at least in the operating room. Like I'm going to do the whole thing, fly to Colorado. Then the best thing is was like, there's never going to be an end. You know what I mean? When you're in sales and you're good at sales, there's always a big check coming. Oh, I'm going to make 20 grand this month, 30 grand this month. There's always a check. Like you're always like a deal. If you're working, there's always a deal coming.
Yeah.
So I had to literally go, okay, you know what? I'm just going to move. I put my stuff in a pod, moved my stuff to Colorado, got an apartment, moved out of my apartment in Florida. And I'm like, I'm going to do this.
Wow.
I flew back and forth every single week to Florida on my own dime my job, because I had to do my job still, because I had some really big checks coming from like deals I had worked for a long time, and they didn't pay out until the invoices were paid. And I needed those for my real money at the end here. And so I'm like back and forth for like 5 months, hiring people, finding a location, doing the thing. And then I'm like, all right, I got to the hard stop where I was a month out from open date. And I call my company. I'm like, all right, so I'm actually leaving. I'm going to open an insurance agency. They're like, oh, great. Like in Tampa? Like that's so exciting. I'm like, no, actually in Colorado.
So bye-bye.
What? So I had already moved. My car was in Colorado, but I was doing my job. Like I was still like the number 2 running the company, and I was doing all the things, but I just, you have to have a plan. I think that's kind of my life's vision, is that I'm very diligent and have a plan. And I'm a, goal setter and a planner. So.
And that's probably served you pretty well in the insurance business.
It's been good. It's been rocky. I mean, I talk to Craig, on a semi-regular basis, maybe once a month or something. And so he knows there's ups and downs. Obviously, this business is hard, especially when you don't know it and you never, I barely could spell the word insurance, let alone new Allstate or, any of the things.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, go ahead, Craig, I'm sorry.
Well, especially being a planner, right? And having structure, because it seems no matter what you do, the best laid plans, at least at the details level, in the weeds, that stuff falls apart. Strategically, I think a lot of it can stay consistent, but once you dive down into the weeds, it does not fall into place the way that you want it to.
100%.
So back from not knowing anything, jumping into today, 18 months later, where are you at now, and where were you at then, and what were some of the biggest lessons that you learned?
So I started scratch. So I had 0 customers. We're about to hit 1.3, which I know is okay. I look at other people and I'm like, oh man, I want to be at 2 million, at 18 months, but you're doing
great. That's impressive,
Well, I appreciate it. We won the trips and stuff last year. This year we did not. I went for my Series 6 this year. So that was a huge focus for me. And I got my SIE and my Series 6 done. Thank the Lord. That is off my
That's a monkey.
It was a monkey. It was hard. And I'm just not a good test taker. So, it was I struggle with that. I struggled in school, and, that's just not my strength. So that took a lot of attention from me this year. But, we're at the place, we're almost at 1.5. I'm opening my second. Once, we get to 1.5, that's going to be 100% my goal. I've already had talks about that, but, I learned a lot. I went through a lot of staff, I listened to you guys' podcasts, and I love to hear the guy that was just on, I think 2 or 3 times weeks ago, the guy that had the same staff the whole time. I'm like, wow, that guy's incredible.
Grant.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, I've had only 1 person ever leave. I'm like, literally. Oh.
What? I've only had 1 person stay.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. It's it's a totally different. So, I can tell you both that, everyone has their strengths, and my strength is not managing. So it's just not, and I know that that's not my best quality. Like I'm good at sales. I'm just not really as good at managing because I expect everyone to do what I do. You know,
Right.
everyone, oh, I want to make $100,000 a year. I'm like, okay, so how you make $100,000 a year is you come to work at 6, you leave at 9, you work 7 days a week, you do the. You don't come at 9:05 to work, take an hour lunch break, leave at 5:55, never work late, never work on Saturdays. That's not how you make $100,000 a year. Sorry,
Right.
sorry, you know.
Right.
And so, you know, I'm just not like, I have such a strong work ethic that I don't really understand when people want the things but don't put the effort in. You know what I mean? So like, I struggle with that because I want to give everyone every opportunity in the world, and they have the keys to my office. They can come in early and come late, and I'm there all day and I do the thing. But you know, I'm not going to pay you just to work, you know, the little 40 hours a week. Sorry. You know, and maybe you guys have a different opinion on that. But
no, Christina, I think that we're pretty similar in that same thinking. And for a long time, and I think maybe even up until I met Jason, I had this mentality that everybody should work the same way that I do or think the same way. And that clearly doesn't, you know, I mean, I came from sales, you know, Merrill Lynch and all these things where it was hustle, make 500, 600 dials on a Morse code tabulator.
You
know, on an old phone and do all this and then get the results. But most people don't or can't see that vision or navigate the path to that vision and don't want to do the activity to get there. And that's where, you know, telemarketers come into, okay, you know, the LSP job is tough. It's a grind. And then, you know, so, okay, maybe they don't need to, for what they make, at least as a base, they shouldn't be doing those things, that hustle. You know, and I conceded that with Jason. Now have the telemarketers doing that, so so at least they're being teed up for quotes because that's what they have. If somebody doesn't want to do quotes, well then, sorry, I can't. There's nothing I could do because you do have to, right?
Oh, of course, yeah. And I have changed my, you know, so my people do the dials, but I do have telemarketers too. So now we're at 4 full-time, and I'm hiring my second telemarketer currently. So, which is great, you know, but it's a lot, you know, payroll's expensive, and I know, I mean, you have way more people than I do, but I'm still a small shop for, you know, 17 months in. So, you know, that's a really, I think that's a big struggle for me is kind of what's the teeter-totter of how much do you spend on the leads and how much do you spend on people and how much are you getting back in? You know what I mean?
And how to manage them too. I love what you 100%. Said. Like you identified you're not great at managing because you're a salesperson, and I'm very similar. Like I think my emotional intelligence is about a -3. So, you know, I get frustrated very easy if they're not doing what I'd ask, but oftentimes they're not going to do it the way that I want. So I took something from the Grant episode that you were talking about where he has them review him, right? Instead of the other way around. I did it. Like I did it with one of my sales guys that's doing the best performing. I'm like, okay, so what can I do? How can I be better? He goes, do not get involved. Just coach. You coach them and train them to sell, but don't manage them because you're going to drive them crazy. And he goes, I will. That's what I want to do. I will manage them because I'm patient. You're not patient. I go, I love that. Thank you for the honest feedback. Because most people would be afraid to say that because they think I'm going to wig out. Right. And now my day is much less stressful because I'm not, okay, I don't care I don't care. And now awesome. they're getting better results. And so, applying the stuff that we learn here is phenomenal. You know, I love it. So
it's huge. I mean, that episode was great. And it was a really big, you know, it's an eye opener for me, you know, about just my personal, and honestly, I think I did this. I mean, back to your question, Jason, it's kind of weird. Like everything I do in my life is for the next thing, you know? I mean, you guys, I don't know if you guys are lifers for this, but this is not a lifer position for me. Right. I'm a jumper. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I mean, I literally am always looking at the next company, the next thing, I mean, you know, I'm 40, I'm like 45, I'm done. I'm with this for sure. I mean, I'm going to open my next agency, and by 45, I want to have 2 $3.4 million agencies that I sell for both those and be done. That's, I mean, with this industry, and I'll be on to the next. But in this industry, I want to grow as a person, and I want to grow as a manager because I'm bad at it. So I want to get better. You know what I mean? Like my last company, I had like 45 people at Bricks for Kids. I had like 45.
Wow.
But I went through them like, whoo! I mean, you drink a sip of water, put it down. I would get rid of people like it was just getting a new can of water. You know, I drink LaCroix all day long. And it's like, oh, okay, I'm done. Goodbye. You know, so I had a manager that was like, you're not allowed to talk to anybody, Christiana. You fire people every time you talk to them. I'm like, well, they're late. Like, I don't do well with late. So, and she would just be like, you can't speak to anybody. Stop talking.
And that's interesting. Most people have the opposite problem where they take too long to get rid of those.
No. I have no problem with any of that. Like, if like in my last company, I had an office where if they didn't, so it was like an actual building, like I owned the building. And if someone was like, my interview was at 9, at 9:01, I would get in my car and leave. I would just leave the office because I'm like, you can't be on time for the first interview. You will not work for me. Like, it just doesn't work. Like, I don't, you didn't call me, you didn't text me. Like, if you did that.
Oh, no, that's over. Game over.
But like, I don't play around with late. Late is like my biggest pet peeve in the universe. And my manager would be like, Christiana, you're literally ruining everything. I'm like, sorry. Like, I can't put up with these people. They're going to drive me crazy. And so she never even let me talk to people until like the last interview. And then when we were firing people, like, so I didn't even talk to the people at all. Like there's always people working for me.
How did that affect your enjoyability of the business?
Oh yeah. When I got away from that, it was incredible.
Right.
And that's what I'm trying to do with this next agency is put 2 people, one person in charge of one and one person in charge of the other. And and then I'm not dealing with the day-to-day stuff because I look at it and I get on the dialer. I have Ricochet, like I know you do, Craig. I don't know if you do, Jason, but I get on the dialer and I'm like, why aren't these statuses right? Why aren't they this? And I'm a crazy person. Like, and then I'm people are like, yeah, well, I mean, I pay a lot of money for leads. So if they're not being followed up with, I'm like, guys, like, I shouldn't get on the dialer, dial 40 people and quote 10. That means that you guys aren't on the dialer. Like, what's going on? You know what I mean? Like, I'm the agency owner. There's no way I should be doing this. Like,
I think we need to, like, we must focus on what's going in and then the output. And it's easy because we can see so many things at the same time to look at all individual trees. But you know what? All of this stuff happens and it's not going to go perfectly. But if we can look here and we see what went in and it's net positive and it's where it should be, who cares how all this went? But I'm with you because when I get in, I start looking at the Slack and how they're communicating. I'm like, they're doing it all wrong. But it's like, you know what? Who cares? They still got 15 items for the day, and it's great. 8,900. So okay, I could deal with it. So I'm really trying to do that and just step back.
Step back, yeah, and that's got to be a thing for me this year. But I can tell you, I mean, I think that being able to change is the biggest thing with this. And I mean, I know I saw a post from you the other day, Craig, but if you can't roll with the punches of Allstate, I mean, you might as well just get out. Because I mean, I've been here 18 months and they've changed like 6 completely major things. And which I was told that usually happens over a 10-year period. So, I mean, and I think the changes are going to still come. Like they're just going to come at us and if you can't go with it, then leave. Don't complain. Don't, just sell your business,
That's it.
Get out. You know what I mean? It's crazy,
That's business in this decade. I mean, everything is going to constantly change, or your Barnes and Noble or your Sears or your, I mean,
right.
I mean, look at how many
Blockbuster. Yeah. I mean,
Blockbuster. Blockbuster had the world. They were distribution channel for entertainment, and they didn't see Netflix coming. They didn't see paper. I mean, the hotels had pay-per-view. Why didn't they go, oh wait, the hotels can do it? I mean, they had the money and they just sat there and they kept collecting it instead of reinvesting.
There's a couple left, right?
There's a few. I think there's like 3. I heard there's one in Hawaii, right? Isn't there one in Hawaii, Craig?
I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't have gone.
He was in the water.
Oh, I know, but I thought that someone said that on one of your episodes or something.
Maybe he's still waterlogged.
You know, it is funny. There is a video store in Tucson. It's called Casa Video, and I don't know how it's still in business.
Huh. Who knows?
I mean, who the hell has a VHS?
Well, it's probably someone that doesn't want somebody else to know what they're renting. How about that?
Oh,
yeah.
All the people they have tinfoil on their head when they walk in.
Not that.
There's a DVD store in Huntington Beach, and everybody says the same thing. How are they even surviving here? And there is a back section, and I'm pretty sure that you're right on that.
It's that whole thing.
It's that whole thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And then I don't know if you guys want anything else. I don't know if I'm giving you anything useful over here.
No, it's good. You know what it is too? A lot of times it's just hearing everybody's perspective, their take, where they're at, their struggles and stuff. And sometimes we just need to hear like, hey, you're having trouble with it. Oh, I'm having trouble with that too. Here, you know what I mean? People can grab little nuggets from everything. And I think that using each other as mentors is a huge, I mean, that's why we started this thing.
I love it. I mean, I listen to it when I work out. I love it.
That's awesome.
What else was I going to tell you guys? Oh, I try to do things different. And that's what I think a lot of people, and at least in Colorado, some people do follow me because I brand myself not as Allstate, which, I've been told I'm not allowed to do that. Whatever. Until they shut me down, they shut me down. You know what I mean? Like I brand myself. I don't use the blue is what I'll say name. I don't use that.
Yeah.
I use like my own name, my own company name. And I look like a broker to most people. So I think we get a lot of at-bats because people think I'm not blue. And so I do that to try to be different. I just feel like a lot of people just have had a bad experience with Allstate, and then they're like, I want nothing to do with it. They won't even literally give you a shot. And it's like, well, you had a bad experience with one agent down the road. Like you didn't have a bad experience with me. It might've been the agent that handled it bad or whatever. Give me a shot, So I brand myself as Rhino Insurance Group, and I brand myself super different so that people give me a shot. I mean, I just feel like I get a lot of at-bats for that. I get a lot of exclusive stuff for that to my staff. And, I try to just be a little bit different, if that makes sense, and not just be a next agent,
Your differentiation.
Yep.
And I love the at-bats analogy because, a lot of us can get this headspace where we're thinking of all the ways that something won't work when really at the end of the day, it's just get to the plate. You got to take some,
Yeah.
Oh, I can't quote them no, just quote them.
Yeah.
Find out. Don't just assume you can't.
I think the biggest problem with a lot of people with a lot of experience is they have a lot of baggage of the way things used to be, and they're constantly looking in the rearview mirror, and they're not keeping their eyes on the road. I think that's why people that get into the industry can really put the pedal to the metal, is because they're constantly looking at the road. They don't have any of that baggage. There's not, it used to be like this, and they don't harbor that, like, I don't know, resentment and anger.
Well, yeah, you just got to keep moving forward. You know what I mean? Like it's changing. They're changing. They're always going to be changing. And if you can't adapt with them, then it's just going to be it's going to be bad for everybody. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Complaining about what used to be is not smart. Just let's keep going forward. It's like Avisa Pro. Oh my God, I hate Avisa Pro. This is what it is, guys. Yeah, we don't have any options. You just got to keep moving forward. Like, stop complaining about it. Let's just keep going. Go forward. Go forward. You know what I mean? We just have to keep moving.
Look, we're the beta testers. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you gonna do?
I love Shark Tank, and you never hear like Mark Cuban or something giving you all the problems with every industry. Oh, this is why. You know what I mean? It's always like those guys are successful because who cares about the problems? It's only about the solutions.
Yeah,
that's it.
100%. Yeah,
it's like
you see.
Yeah, everything else is a waste of time.
100%. It's all about where you put your energy.
Yeah.
All about it.
That's cool.
Yeah,
so let's end on this. Thank you so much for coming on here, especially at short notice.
Of course.
But the number one piece of advice you give anybody getting into the industry, or that just maybe they've been in it a while and they just want to really put the pedal to the metal, what would you?
Okay. I mean, I would say don't ever throw all your money at one lead vendor. When I started, I threw a lot of money I threw too much. Like say I would throw 3,000 at EverQuote or 2,000. Like really try vendors before, because you just give them so much money and just the first couple leads are okay. And then a lot of times they go to crap. Depending on, I'm not like, saying one lead vendor in particular, but I just think it's really important to always be changing and always be looking at your lead vendors, because it's not static. You can't stay the same. To me personally, I am always changing and I'm looking. I use Agency Zoom. So at the end of every month, I'm looking, and it's not like I make drastic, like, okay, we're going to leave them completely. But if we have all of our eggs in one basket, that's a bad thing. It's not a good thing to have everything in one thing. And so I'm always looking, changing, constantly trying to make it better. You know what I mean? And that's a big thing. And if you don't have enough money, don't get in this business, and don't complain that you failed. I mean, I'm sorry, if you're not willing to spend the money that Allstate makes you spend, or whatever company you're with makes you spend, you should. If you're not willing to gamble at all, you shouldn't get in. If you want to be big, you want to do it big. This is a business where you have to be able to risk it. You have to be able to do it, and you have to go in with your heart. I mean, I work a lot of hours. I travel a lot. I love fun. I love to travel, but you still have to be able to put your heart and soul into this. I mean, this is my journey. This is my baby. This is this is mine. I believe in it. You have to care about it like it's your child almost, I don't have a kid, but this is what I feel like. These are my employees, are my children. I love my office, and it's really important to put your heart and soul into it. I don't know if that was a good ending for you.
No, that's awesome. I think it's very encouraging.
It's a great business. I believe in it, 100%.
And you should know, you've been in a lot.
I've been in a lot of businesses for sure.
That's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for coming on. It's awesome. People can find you if they're in Colorado. We'll put your link to your agent page. And
cool. Hey, thank you guys for having me. Thanks for thinking.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for coming on and open the mic.
You're welcome. All right, talk to you.
Yeah.
All
right, have a good one.
Bye.
Hey, you've got to check out the Insurance Dudes Inner Circle, coming soon, where you get extended interviews as well as live coffee talks in our private Facebook group. Join the mailing list today at theinsurancedudespodcast.com. Hey, thanks for checking out the Insurance Dudes. Hey, please subscribe. We got some really great stuff coming out.